Welcome back to another episode here on the Eternal Sith Network, where you get all your Star Wars news. If you're new to the channel, welcome. Make sure to hit that like and subscribe button and that notification bell so you're always in the know on everything Star Wars here on the Eternal Sith Network, as I always have content on Star Wars every single day, so don't miss a beat. And once you're done watching this video, go check out my last video, give that one a thumbs up as you watch. Let's start the show. So, Jon Favreau just had an interview recently with Variety, and when asked whether The Mandalorian would be bound for the big screen, this is what he had to say. There's always an opportunity when you have a set of characters and stories that people connect with and that you could cross media into different areas. Marvel does it quite effectively. It's also just a matter of where our time should be spent and what the appetite of the audience is. With all these stories we're telling, it definitely is a full-time job just keeping this going with what we're doing now. Television has a different rhythm and schedule than film does. Now, I like how Jon talks about how television has a much different rhythm and schedule than the film does. I really appreciate that because it tells you all the hard work that does go into the television route, just like the way it goes into a movie route. But the bigger question is, will Mando likely get a movie sometime in the near future? Now, the last time we got a movie was The Rise of Skywalker back in 2019. But again, the question arises, do we get a big finish with The Mandalorian in the movie theaters? I personally think yes, because you have the skeleton crew that's coming to the fold of this MandoVerse. Again, we have Boba Fett, we know, Mando, obviously, Ahsoka. There's a lot, and I'm sure they're going to have another show that they might announce at Star Wars Celebration that is around the Mandalorian timeline, or shall we say the MandoVerse. And I can't see us getting introduced with Thrawn, which he's already been referenced in season 2 with that Ahsoka arc. I definitely think that we might even get him in season 3 of the Mandalorian. Now, when I say we get him, it might be just a name reference. Also, keep in mind, we have 2 more seasons of The Mandalorian, so in total, there'll be 5 seasons. And I think that those last 2 seasons will wrap up and talk about Mandalore, and we'll have this full cinematic thing where Mando gets his ending story, and it happens in the movie theaters, as it'll be kind of like an Avengers Endgame, but only to Star Wars. It'll be the Mandalorian's endgame as our story, or the story of the Mandalorian, finally gets told and it's finished. And again, there's a lot with Thrawn. I really feel like I can't see his story ending in just the Ahsoka series, even if they did like 2 seasons or 3 of the Ahsoka series. Remember, this has to lead up, and they said they're going to do that, where it leads up into the First Order. You know, you're going to have Luke, Ahsoka, Boba Fett, Mando, Fennec, Bo-Katan, Mandalorians. As we know, we're going back to Mandalore this season. So again, that's why I see this being a full throttle thing, where at one point, Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni, I'm sure, have talked about doing a movie. And who better to start something and know about all of this than Jon Favreau, the man, the myth, the legend, the conqueror, as he's come into this and he blew up with The Mandalorian with Dave Filoni, and they have created a formula that has worked for Star Wars with Grogu and Mando, and it's been their go-to. And I could see them turning this into a movie the same way they did with Iron Man and starting the Marvel Cinematic Universe. And they can start this, universe for Star Wars, where it can be, for the first time, we have all of our beloved characters that we love from the original trilogy era, and you can get them in this, movie that ends up being the ending of The Mandalorian. And remember, there's also unseen footage that has been talked about of Han, Luke, and Leia. We already know we're going to get more Luke at some point, but Han and Leia, I think, is yet to come still. I think that that's something they're probably going to work on. But comment down below, what do you want to see if we were to get this in the movie theaters? And if you want to see this come to an ending, either, like I said, in the movie theaters, or would you be okay with just 5 seasons and it's done there? Thank you so much for tuning in today, guys. Hit the subscribe, like, and notification bell so you're always in the know as I have another video tomorrow. And remember, the Eternal Sith. Then, now, forever. Later, guys.